You know the feeling, right? You're just staring at your screen, you've got this mountain of work to do, but your brain is screaming, begging to do anything else. I mean, literally anything. It's that moment where you're so stuck, you'd honestly rather just count the pixels on your monitor. We've all been there.
So, what's your main mission? The big one? Well, it's the quarterly report. Ugh. Even the words themselves sound boring. It's like the final boss of corporate drudgery, right? This epic saga of numbers and charts that you absolutely, positively have to get done.
But wait a second. Just as you're about to click on that spreadsheet icon, you feel it. A little ding in the back of your mind. And nope, it's not a notification from your boss. It's a new quest, something way more interesting. And let's be honest, probably way more pointless.
And that, right there, is the heart of what we're talking about today. It's a concept that was so perfectly captured in this hilarious short film called Doing Sidequests in a Spreadsheet. It's really the art of finding a grand adventure in the very last place you'd ever expect to find one.
So you know what? Let's accept this new quest. It's time to dive in and unpack this funny and actually surprisingly deep idea.
So what in the world is a spreadsheet side quest? Well, think of it as the noble, heroic act of inventing a tiny, completely pointless challenge for yourself. And you do it all inside your work software, specifically to avoid doing that big, important thing you're actually supposed to be doing.
The best example of this comes straight from the source that inspired this whole thing, the absurdly noble art of cow spotting. Yeah. So instead of crunching numbers for the report, the team in the short decides to find and catalog every single time the word cow appears in a huge document. Why? Well, because it's not the quarterly report. That's why.
And this brings us to this really cool analogy. What if you thought about the office as a giant video game map? You know, like an overworld. So how does all that epic language we use for gaming translate into our day-to-day 9-to-5 grind?
Okay, this is where it gets really fun, because the mapping is just perfect. In a game, you have your main quest, right? In the office, that's the project deadline. Your side quest in the game? At work, that's trying to find and use every single font in Microsoft Word. An NPC, a non-player character? Oh, that is absolutely the person from IT who just shows up, says something cryptic, fixes your computer, and then vanishes. And the final boss? Come on, we all know it's your annual performance review. No contest.
So this is all pretty funny, but it really makes you wonder, why do we do this? Let's dig into the psychology behind this super creative way of procrastinating.
I mean, is it really just a new, fancy way to waste company time? Or is there maybe something more going on here when we decide to go cow spotting instead of, budget forecasting?
And here's the thing. It's not just about avoiding work. It's about reclaiming a little bit of autonomy in a world where you don't have much. It's this tiny spark of creative rebellion. It's even a search for mastery. Like, okay, I may not finish this report today, but I will become the world's greatest expert at perfectly centering text inside a merged cell. And at its core, it's a cure for that soul-crushing digital boredom. This whole desire to play at work, it actually plugs into a much bigger idea. This kind of behavior is a perfect little example of what we call gamification, which is just applying game-like rules and rewards to things that aren't games. This just illustrates the point so well. The spreadsheet side quest isn't some isolated joke. It's really a symptom of this deep-down human desire we have to find a sense of play and engagement in everything we do, even the most mind-numbing parts of our jobs. That line between work and play, it's getting blurrier all the time because we're the ones trying to erase it. So are you feeling inspired? You want to start your own side quest? It's actually pretty simple. Here's your 4-step guide. Step 1, open a spreadsheet. Step 2, clearly identify your main mission. Step 3, and this is crucial, resolutely, with every fiber of your being, ignore it. And finally, step 4, create a new, gloriously pointless objective for yourself. And there you have it. Congratulations, you're officially an adventurer. All right, as we start to wrap this whole thing up, let's just boil it all down to one final thought for your next quest.
Here's the real takeaway. We invent these little games for ourselves because the big game we're paid to play, our job, a lot of the time it just doesn't give us those quick hits of achievement, that sense of playful discovery, that feeling of, hey, I won. So we're basically hacking our own brains just to make it through the day.
And so that leaves us with this one really fascinating question to chew on. If our main mission at work if it was designed from the ground up to be more engaging, more rewarding, more like a really well-designed game, would we even need to invent side quests in the first place?